Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin with breaking news from New Haven, where a 16-year-old has died after being shot this afternoon. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hartman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We just received that update from police moments before coming on air, but still at this hour, the shooter or shooters, whoever killed that teen, are at large.
Fox.
We have to be able to wake up. We have to be able to save ourselves. We don't have a cavalry coming.
Stephen Cousin, pastor of Bethel AME Church, said shootings are becoming too frequent in New Haven.
Unfortunately, we had a similar situation that occurred last year where a school right down the block from this church, where kids were about to be picked up from their parents, and there was shots exchanged then.
New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson said officers responded to shots fired Friday afternoon and found what turned out to be a chaotic scene. A teen had been shot and a school bus had been hit by gunfire. Hours later, police gave a tragic update saying that teen had died.
We're praying for him and his family. Also struck was a school bus that was passing by. It was struck with a stray bullet.
That school bus was carrying young children.
Our school bus was coming from Celentano School. Just terrifying for those young kids that were on that bus. Thank God the bus driver and the children are okay.
Shortly after the shooting, another teen said she was shot in the leg and brought to Yale New Haven Hospital. The incidents aren't related. New Haven Mayor Justin Elliger says though the city has only had 10 homicides this year, the concern about gun violence is still high in the city.
However, something like this happens, especially a young kid, and it's just awful. You know, I think there's so many parents out there that can't even imagine losing their child.
Chief Jacobson asks anyone with any information on either shootings to call the New Haven Police Detective Bureau. Kay Pattyfoot live in studio.
Okay, thank you. Turning to the weather now and starting off the weekend with more rain.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first check of the forecast. Rachel, what's it looking like out there?
Yeah, a wet start to the weekend and a windy finish through the day tomorrow and even Sunday as well. So we still have the same system. You can actually see it pinwheeling here across the Northeast, but over time, it's starting to sink a little bit farther to the south. There's that area of low pressure, and we'll actually see the rain fill back in again. We already have some showers that are redeveloping across the state. We'll take a closer look at some of the showers that are to the south of us and downpours that are going to be coming in from the south as we head through the overnight tonight. And I think by daybreak, it's raining across most of the state, and there might even be a few wet snowflakes mixing in at the higher elevations. I do not anticipate any accumulation like we had this morning in far western Connecticut. It's more of a curiosity than anything else. Temperatures will be above freezing. But again, we do have that rain or showers to start off the day tomorrow. But heading through the afternoon, we'll dry things out. Clouds will break for sunshine and it will turn windy. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s to right around 40 degrees. And I think the temperature will remain pretty steady overnight, so it doesn't drop all that much. Wet start, highs in the upper 40s to right around 50 as we head through the afternoon, and we could see winds gusting up between 30 to 40 miles an hour as we head through noon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. So we'll be watching that. The wind continues on Sunday, but we're dry and we're looking ahead to Thanksgiving week. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, dozens of Connecticut healthcare workers are now looking for another job, and hundreds of seniors here in the state are now looking for another home.
2 more nursing homes, both in Bristol, have informed the state they intend to shut down. Fox 61's Matt Karen looked into the emotional and practical impact that this would have on staff and the people who live there.
If the state approves this closure, 40% of the nursing home beds here in Bristol will be eliminated. Sheridan Woods and Countryside Manor are both run by Athena Healthcare, which told the state it can no longer continue to operate. And it comes just 30 days after Abbott Terrace in Waterbury closed. On the outside, it's business as usual, but inside,
people are upset.
Emotions are stirring.
It's a rough day.
Anger.
Why doesn't anybody care about our seniors?
Sadness.
They're crying. They're upset.
Fear.
Holidays are coming and it's scary because we all have families, like, not the unknown.
Athena Healthcare informed the state, staff, and residents they intend to close the Countryside Manor and Sheridan Woods nursing homes, both in Bristol.
There won't be any beds. People are going to have to keep their parents in their own homes or have them live with them.
The announcement comes just 30 days after the feds essentially forced the closure of Athena's Abbott Terrace facility in Waterbury for failure to meet minimum health and safety standards. Many of the staff and elderly residents there were transferred to Bristol. Now it's deja vu.
The wound has not healed. Literally, we just bandaged it up, trying to carry on, and here they go with the salt.
In a statement, Athena told Fox 61 environmental factors, staffing challenges, facility maintenance needs, and rising operational costs made it impossible to continue operating both facilities. Athena is a company in financial turmoil. They owe back taxes in several communities and recently sold 5 skilled nursing facilities run by this man, Larry Santilli.
This man, Larry, that doesn't come to any of these meetings, that hasn't said sorry to, the Athena community, that he faces some serious charges because this is a crime. I saw a picture of Larry on his yacht, as Abbott was closing down, and it was just like, I'm here crying every day because me and my coworkers and the residents are being separated, and you're on a yacht, and life is just one big vacation for you.
Athena's statement concluded by saying it is evaluating options to support the continued operations of its 6 remaining Connecticut nursing homes.
I think we all kind of seen the writing on the wall. We just didn't want to believe it.
Us girls have worked our butts off through COVID when no one else was working. No one else wanted to come out here and work. We've been out here, and it kind of just feels like a slap in the face, like nobody cares.
The Department of Health and Department of Social Services will now engage in a closure process that includes a 10-day cooling-off period, followed by a public hearing. And then 180 days after that, a decision will have to be made on whether to keep these facilities open. Reporting in Bristol, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Matt, thank you. New at 10 tonight, the city of Hartford is mourning the loss of its town and city clerk. Noel McGregor died today from injuries he suffered in a hit and run last month in the town of Colchester. State police say McGregor was standing outside his parked vehicle on the shoulder of Route 2. Another vehicle hit McGregor and drove away. Police are still searching for that driver. Hartford Mayor Arunan Aralampalam and Council President Shirley Surgeon released a joint statement today saying, in part, quote, the city of Hartford has suffered a great loss, and Noel's unwavering dedication to Hartford and its residents will carry on in the heart and soul of the town and city clerk's office.
A hunter is dead tonight, apparently falling from a tree stand in Harwinton, but it's not clear if the hunter died from the fall or suffered a medical incident in the stand causing that fall. Emergency first responders were called out to Terryville Road around 10 this morning. We don't know if the hunter was on private property or state-owned land. We have calls out to state police and environmental police to learn more, but tonight it's still under investigation.
A Torrington man has been convicted in a stabbing attack from 2 years ago. 22-year-old Jonathan Todd was found guilty after stabbing another person multiple times in their vehicle during a fight in 2022. The victim was brought to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. Fortunately, they have recovered since then. Todd is scheduled for sentencing in February.
The 8th District State Senate race recount has finished, and ultimately, voters elected Democrat Paul Honig to state Senate. Honig posted on Facebook saying Republican State Senator Lisa Seminara conceded the election. Election workers in Torrington had to hold a discrepancy recanvass last week because of issues on Election Day. Those issues triggered a recount. Seminara first conceded, but then took it back when the margin of victory was too close to call.
And Stop & Shop has given us an update on the recent cyber attack that impacted its stores. The grocery chain says things are improving and stores are stocked and have largely recovered. The chain grocery store looked like this in the past few weeks. Empty shelves and low supply on essentials. Officials with Stop & Shop's parent company say an IT system outage was to blame for the low stock in stores. As a thank you to its customers, Stop & Shop is offering free coffee and sweet treats if you shop this weekend between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
A bill addressing postal problems in Scotland, Connecticut has advanced in the United States House. The town is home to 1,600 people, but is split between 6 zip codes. Well, today the House Committee on Oversight and Reform approved a bill that would mandate a single zip code there. And now Congressman Joe Courtney is hopeful it'll be taken up in the final days of the 118th Congress. It also addresses similar problems in 30 other towns across the country. Having so many different zip codes causes issues in mail delivery, car registration, tax payments, and more. And Congressman Courtney applauded the news today, but says the legislation shouldn't be necessary. He writes, quote, "The Postal Service, who the town has worked with to seek relief to no avail, needs to pay attention to this bipartisan action that demonstrates small, rural communities who depend on functional postal service are serious about fixing zip code anomalies." We'll tell you if that bill is taken up for a vote.
The Connecticut Blood Center is calling on the state to give blood next week in the spirit of the Thanksgiving holiday. The Connecticut Blood Center says blood donations are historically low during the holidays because schools are on break and people typically travel for vacation for the holidays. Connecticut's Blood Center saw a nearly 20% drop in donations last year during Thanksgiving week. As an incentive, community blood drive locations are passing out festive long-sleeve T-shirts to those who donate between November 24th and December 1st.